A Western-style restaurant called Nekoya, managed by a Japanese chef, mysteriously connects to another world for one day each week, attracting a diverse clientele, including wizards, warriors, beastmen, and dragons. One day, the restaurant's owner stumbles upon a homeless demon girl named Alita who had accidentally entered through one of Nekoya's interdimensional doors. Alita reveals that she had come to the royal capital with hopes of living as a human, but lost her job when her true identity as a demon was exposed. After a kind gesture of sharing a staff breakfast, the owner extends a weekly part-time job offer to Alita, inviting her to work as a waitress at Nekoya. Upon hearing about the new addition to the Nekoya team, Red Queen, a dragon lord and loyal customer who treasures the restaurant and its staff, casts a protective spell over Alita. Following her late great-grandfather William's diary entries, treasure hunter Sarah Gold embarks on a quest in an abandoned mine to uncover clues about the Day of Sacher and stumbles upon a doorway leading to the Nekoya. Sarah decides to sample the daily special minced meat cutlet and is delighted by its exquisite flavor. Meanwhile, in another part of this alternate world, Tatsugarao pays a visit to a knight named Heinrich Seelemann, returning a sword that Heinrich had left at the Nekoya 3 years prior. Heinrich's initial encounter with the Nekoya occurred when he was stranded in the desert for a day, without food. Impressed by the restaurant's fried shrimp, he had offered his sword as collateral for the meal's payment. The energy he gained from the meal allowed Heinrich to alert his nation about the need for reinforcements in a territory under attack by Mothmen. Unfortunately, he was unable to locate the Nekoya again after that event. With Tatsugarao's confirmation that his encounter with the Nekoya was real, Heinrich happily returns to the restaurant once more, eager to savor another helping of its delectable fried shrimp. Thomas Elfod, the founder of a thriving pasta company in his world, brings along his grandson and successor, Sirius, to the Nekoya for a business outing. While sampling the restaurant's spaghetti with meat sauce, Sirius realizes that all the pasta and sauces that have earned the Elfod company its reputation are actually mere copies of dishes from the Nekoya's menu. Later on, Adelheid, a princess who has been in poor health, rediscovers the entrance to the Nekoya, a place she had visited with her late grandfather Wilhelm in the past. She decides to try the clouds she had enjoyed as a child, which is a chocolate parfait, evoking cherished memories of her time with her grandfather. Giganpo, a member of the Blue-Tail tribe and a lizardman, is designated as the hero chosen by his tribe to retrieve, take away orders of Nekoya's Amuris, all the while indulging in a few dishes for himself. Subsequently, an elf by the name of Fardania stumbles upon the Nekoya's entrance while on a quest to find something delectable for her late mother's memorial. Upon inspecting the menu, Fardania discovers that there are no suitable options for her vegan diet. However, the owner kindly prepares a tofu steak that is completely free of any animal products yet remains exceptionally delicious. Impressed by the culinary expertise, Fardania becomes determined to excel in the art of cooking even more than the Nekoya's owner. The owner recounts the tale of Lionel, a lion man who fell into the clutches of Alexander, a half-elf, and was subsequently coerced into becoming a gladiator slave. One fateful day, the Nekoya's doorway materialized in Lionel's prison cell, leading him to meet the owner's grandfather. Despite his lack of funds, the grandfather served Lionel a hearty dish of katsudon. Fueled by the katsudon's fortifying essence, Lionel found newfound strength and determination to battle in the arena, all in an effort to earn enough money to settle his debt. In a later revelation, it comes to light that the dessert menu at the Nekoya was crafted by a half-elf princess named Victoria. She makes occasional visits to the restaurant, particularly for a serving of pudding à la mode. Observing that Alita isn't particularly enthusiastic about potatoes and mainly consumes them for sustenance during the week, the owner suggests teaching her a more enjoyable way to prepare them. Meanwhile, Sarah and Heinrich engage in a dispute over which of their preferred dishes is more delectable when transformed into a sandwich. This debate draws other patrons into the discussion, resulting in everyone trying out a sandwich made from the favorite dish of their opposing viewpoint. Following a hectic day, filled with orders for these unconventional sandwiches, the owner proceeds to demonstrate to Alita how to create steamed potatoes garnished with butter, swiftly transforming potatoes into her newfound, favorite culinary delight. Admiral Alphonse Flugel from the Duchy of Samanrak, after surviving on a remote island for 2 decades following a shipwreck, found solace in Nekoya's offerings when he was rescued. Shortly after his rescue, he stumbled upon another entrance to Nekoya, rekindling his love for curry rice. Meanwhile, Kuro, the Black Dragon of Death, who had isolated herself on the moon to avoid unintentional harm to innocent lives, also discovered a portal to Nekoya. Coincidentally, Alphonse was introduced to the owner's latest creation, chicken curry, at the same time. Kuro became hooked on the chicken curry, ordering it excessively, leading the Red Queen to remind her of the need for money to cover her growing food expenses. Consequently, the Red Queen suggested that the owner hire Kuro as an additional waitress to offset her accumulating bill. A young fisherman named Rauke is saved by the mermaid Arte, who, in return for sparing his life, requests him to accompany her to the Nekoya. There, they both relish the restaurant's Hamburg steaks and each other's company. Meanwhile, Alita secures an additional steady job as a housekeeper at Sarah Gold's house. During her time there, she crosses paths with Sarah's younger sister, Shia, who drops by to check on Sarah. After trying some delightful cookies gifted to Alita by the master, Shia becomes so enamored with them that she asks Alita to bring her more whenever possible. Gillum, a dwarf, introduces his skeptical friend Guard to the Nekoya for the first time. Their goal is to relish generous servings of seafood, which, being an exotic treat for mountain dwellers like them, they savor alongside alcoholic beverages. This experience sparks their idea to establish a traveler's way station where they take up residence to frequent the restaurant regularly. In the latter part of the episode, 2 more regulars from the Land of Sand in the Western continent, Prince Sharif and his half-sister Renner, make their entrance. Sharif's main motivation for visiting the restaurant is his deep affection for Adelheid. However, he struggles with shyness, and finds it challenging to express his feelings to her. One day, the interdimensional door of Nekoya mysteriously appears in the Land of Flowers, a realm inhabited by fairies. Curious to explore the unknown, Fairy Queen Tiana Silverio and a group of her subjects venture into the restaurant. Inside, Princess Victoria introduces them to the delectable mixed fruit crepes, leaving the fairies absolutely thrilled by Nekoya's fruit desserts. Meanwhile, Fardania seeks out Christian, a friend of her father's, who confides in her about his interest in incorporating human food production into elven culture inspired by his visit to Nekoya a decade ago. Together, they pay a visit to the restaurant where Christian treats Fardania to a plate of natto spaghetti. During their visit, Fardania comes up with a unique combination of natto and rice. Upon discovering that rice is also present on the Western continent, Fardania decides to embark on a culinary journey to broaden her gastronomic horizons. Iris, a young siren, persuades her friend Arias to join her on a daring adventure to the same island where Alphonse Flugel was recently stranded. Following a note left by Alphonse, they stumble upon the Nekoya door and enter the restaurant. Given their preference for raw fish, the master serves them a delightful dish of fish carpaccio. Later on, the master offers them some extra curry buns he received from a friend, which he shares with Kuro and Alita. While enjoying their meal, Kuro reflects on her typically solitary life and how working at the Nekoya has brought significant changes, leading her to engage in verbal conversations with her co-workers. On the occasion of Meat Day, the master includes complimentary pork soup with the regular meals, earning quick praise from the diners. Simultaneously, Alexander, the half-elf, pays a visit to his longtime friend, the sage Altorius. His purpose is to experience the croquettes that his late son, Emperor Wilhelm, held in such high regard. To his astonishment, he discovers that his lost comrade in arms, Yomi, did not perish in their battle against the demon god. Instead, she ended up on Earth, and the current master is her grandson. Touched by this revelation, he pays his respects at his family's graves and encounters his great-granddaughter, Princess Adelheid, who is also there to visit her family's resting place.
I hope you liked the recap. If so, don't forget to subscribe and like it.